An Uzbek immigrant suspected of killing 8 people in New York was charged in federal court over allegations of acting on behalf of the Islamic State militant group. The suspect says that he was hospitalized after police officials shot and arrested him. He confessed to authorities while in custody that he began planning the attack, in fact, a year ago. Saipov was charged with one count of providing material support and resources to a foreign terrorist organization designated as Islamic State, and another count of violence and destruction of motor vehicles.
In Mirandized interview statements with law enforcement last night and today, Saipov allegedly admitted that he was inspired to commit the attack by the ISIS videos he watched and had been planning this attack for 2 months. He also admitted that he had rented a truck on October 22nd to practice the turns he would make on his Halloween Day attack.
A second Uzbek man wanted for questioning in the investigation of Tuesday's attack in New York has been located now. FBI officials did not provide any details on whether the man was found or why he was wanted. The FBI on Wednesday just issued a wanted poster on Muhammad Zohir, who is a native of Uzbekistan. Officials said Saipov had been in contact with Kadyrov and one other person along with him, and Kadyrov was located after the wanted poster went out. Senator John McCain, one of the most vocal opponents of President Donald Trump, turned the New York attack as an act of war. Now, McCain, in a statement, said the New York attacker must be treated as an enemy of combatant and is not entitled to Miranda rights. A warning given by U.S. policemen while they take suspects into custody. Now, to preserve the admissibility of their statements in criminal proceedings as well.
That's why I'm working with the governor of my state, who has proposed 3 different amendments, which I will be...
In the wake of the New York terrorist attack, U.S. President Donald Trump has vowed to set up extreme vetting for immigrants. Speaking to the media, President Trump said that he will take necessary steps to protect America. He called the New York attacker an animal and said that he would even consider sending him to Guantanamo Bay.
We have to get much tougher. We have to get much smarter, and we have to get much less politically correct. We're so politically correct that we're afraid to do anything. And that's not only our country, that's other countries too that are having very similar problems. And we have to get tough, we have to get smart, we have to do what's right to protect our citizens. We will never waver in the defense of our beloved country, ever. And we'll never, ever forget the beautiful lives that have been taken from us. That was a horrible event, and we have to stop it, and we have to stop it cold. We also have to come up with punishment that's far quicker and far greater than the punishment these animals are getting right now. They'll go through court for years. At the end, there'll be who knows what happens. We need quick justice, and we need strong justice, much quicker and much stronger than we have right now. Because what we have right now is a joke, and it's a laughingstock.
In fact, he also added that he will be moving to terminate immigration lottery following the New York attack.
I am today starting the process of terminating the diversity lottery program. I'm going to ask Congress to immediately initiate work to get rid of this program. Diversity and diversity lottery. Diversity lottery sounds nice. It's not nice. It's not good. It's not good. It hasn't been good. We've been against it. So we want to immediately work with Congress on the diversity lottery program, on terminating it, getting rid of it. We want a merit-based program.
And joining me in the program to discuss more, of course, is our correspondent from the United States, Andy Rothschild. Andy, welcome back. Looking at what President Donald Trump just spoke about and to shed some light on what exactly he meant by extreme vetting and his counterterrorism plans, one should recall that Uzbekistan was never on his travel ban list. Does this really make any difference on what has happened and his fight against ISIS is badly failing?
Well, that's been pointed out quite a bit, that Uzbekistan was not on his travel ban list. The diversity lottery has actually been pretty controversial over the years. It gave folks from countries that were not considered threats to America a chance, a slim chance, to actually get into America. And that's why a lot of people did like it for that reason. You know, there have been people here who have said that the president has mischaracterized what that diversity lottery visa it really is, what it really does. And so it's hard to say at this point. You know, the president and his fans certainly agree with his extreme vetting. Again, this was never a part of Uzbekistan, and this whole diversity lottery was never part of the original plan that he talked about to ban certain entry from banned entry from certain nations, the banned list. But now it has become a topic because this apparently is how this gentleman, this Mr. Saipov from Uzbekistan, got into the country. And the president also railed against what he perceived as Saipov's connection to other people. It's called chain migration. People who get into America and then through family and friends manage to bring others over. He took that as a sinister kind of thing, as a thing to be afraid of. And that's one thing that he'd like to end as well. But this debate will go on for quite a while. Chuck Schumer, who the president mocked, he's the Democratic Senate minority leader in the Senate, who has defended this program, really has been pushing back against President Trump on what he said today about this diversity lottery. But ultimately, it often does come up in the president's hands. He's the one who holds the key to this. And then what often happens is it winds up in the courts. And that's where it's going to be really interesting to see how the courts rule on this. The latest court ruling has gone against Trump's travel ban. So we'll see where the court lands on this issue as well.
Right, Andy, and you feel the kind of terrorist threat that New York has seen, in fact, has nothing to do with border security, but internal problems that America needs to deal with. For example, eliminating extreme or radicalism, in fact, taking care of people and being able to identify extremists around rather than blaming border security.
You know, that's another hot topic. And this gentleman, Mr. Saipov, the suspect in this terror attack, was radicalized in the United States. His friends have said that he was a good guy, a nice guy, married with kids, lived for a while in New Jersey and Ohio and Florida. He drove for Uber. He drove commercial trucking in all respects. But one friend said he did seem to be isolated, and that after a while, his tone about religion and America became a little more aggressive. So that's a good point. How do you stop the radicalization of these folks in America? There has been a strong effort on that. President Trump, of course, is looking more at the other end of this, the immigration end, which obviously there are a lot of critics to that.
All right, Annie, thank you for joining us in the program and giving us those details. We'll, of course, keep speaking to you as and when we also know about that shooting incident at Walmart store in Colorado. Moving on right now, 5 of 8 dead in the truck attack in New York were, in fact, Argentine tourists. They were a group of friends celebrating the 30th anniversary of the high school graduation in the city. School staff on Wednesday said they were shocked by the news that alumni from the Rosario Polytechnic High School were among those killed in the attack. Flags throughout the city of Rosario, including on the school grounds, were at half-mast on Wednesday. The municipality of Rosario has declared 3 days of mourning. The school has planned a vigil to be held to remember the victims.
Cinco profesionales, 5 compañeros que pierde la ciudad, que pierde la Argentina y que pierde el mundo en un hecho trágico, en un hecho mundial, de resonancia mundial, que nos afecta a todos, no solo a la Argentina, sino que al mundo, como uno de otros hechos que se han enmarcado ya desde hace años como atentados, como lobo solitario, como un atentado terrorista.
And also, the village of Staten in Belgium was mourning one of the New York attack victims on Wednesday. The 31-year-old Anne-Laure Dictat was also one of the victims of the New York bike path attack near the World Trade Center on Tuesday. The family said that she was riding a bike and apparently was surprised by a vehicle that came from behind. And flags flew at half-mast and a condolence register was opened at the local community centre on the day that Belgium traditionally remembers the dead during All Saints' Day.
We know her as a very spontaneous person, very dynamic, loving her family and her children. So it's a pity.
Now, despite the attack, New Yorkers in Times Square say they say, in fact, they feel safe in the city.
Yeah, I feel okay because I know there's a lot of securities out there that are monitoring everything that is going on.
Yeah, I feel safe. I mean, I think we've got an incredible number of talented men and women that are helping to protect us, and regular folks are letting people know when they see suspicious things. These bad things are going to happen, and we just have to look after ourselves. But I feel safe.
Who or what is a terrorist? For long, India has pointed how Western countries are selective about whom to use the word for. Now, a murderer of Muslim origin is an Islamist terrorist, usually acting at the behest of some Islamist terror group. But a monstrous man who caused the worst carnage in the history of the United States by mowing down 59 innocent people in Las Vegas was called an active shooter. So why is one man's terrorist another man's gunman? Is only a brown or black-skinned killer a terrorist? Here's a look at the statutes in the countries where killers on wheels have struck.
France and terrorism, deliberate assaults on life, the hijacking of a means of transport, theft, extortion, destruction, etc. Germany and terrorism, murder, killing, genocide, forming an organization to commit crimes against humanity, war crimes and crimes against personal freedom. UK and terrorism. Terrorism means the use of threat to intimidate the public, involves serious violence against a person, serious damage to property, endangers a person's life. The state of New York on terrorism. New York law defines an act of terrorism as when, with intent to intimidate or coerce a civilian population, influence the policy of a unit of government by intimidating or coercion, or affect the conduct of a unit of government by murder, assassination or kidnapping. Bureau Report, WION.